Let's be honest, we're all kind of drowning in a sea of digital information, right? But what if you could actually move from that chaos of just endless feeds to the amazing clarity of being in control? Well, that's exactly the massive shift we're going to dig into today. Does this feel familiar? You know that moment you open up an app and bam, you're hit with this endless, just overwhelming stream of content? It's that feeling of being totally swamped by the very things that are supposed to be helping us. So here's the thing. This chaos, it isn't an accident. It's actually by design. As YouTuber Jake Bro points out here, these platforms are built to get you to spend more time on them, not necessarily to help you focus on what you actually want. And that leads directly to something we all experience every single day. A messy, single-file line of content where the stuff you really care about, that amazing video from a creator you love, it just gets completely lost in all the noise. But hey, this isn't just about our YouTube rabbit holes. This same kind of chaos is happening in the professional world. And when these disorganized streams of information start impacting our work, the stakes get a whole lot higher. Just take a look at this. This is the kind of ridiculously complex request a bioinformatics researcher might make. I mean, it's a perfect example of the sheer amount of data that professionals have to deal with. We're a long way from a simple video feed here. And what do you think happens when you're trying to wrangle that much complexity without the right help? Yeah, this. The first attempt fails. And in a field like genetic research, errors like these aren't just an inconvenience. They can completely derail a project. And it's not just in coding either. In the marketing world, you've got a similar flood of AI-generated content that's created this sea of sameness. When everything starts to look and sound the same, of course user engagement is going to drop. The noise is just drowning out the signal. So, what's the solution? How do we actually fight back against all this chaos? Well, it all comes down to this really powerful idea, the digital curator. You can think of it like a personal librarian or an intelligent agent that works for your entire digital life. So for our first example, let's head right back to YouTube. There's this browser extension called PocketTube, and it basically acts as your own personal curator, letting you finally take back control of your subscription feed. And the solution is just so simple, it's brilliant. It lets you create folders for your subscriptions, just like you would for your files. So you can have one for learning, one for news, another for tech. You get the idea. So instead of one giant messy feed, you can browse one focused topic at a time. It's a simple idea, but trust me, it's a total game changer. Now we can take that exact same principle and apply it in the professional world, but with way more power. For developers who are dealing with that massive complexity we saw earlier, their curator is an AI agent called Claude Code. And this is where things get really, really powerful. This isn't just about sorting anymore. This is a true agent. It uses something called agentic search, which means it doesn't just look at one file. It reads and understands your entire code base. Then it can make intelligent, coordinated changes across a bunch of different files and even run tests to make sure everything worked. It's actively curating the path from a problem straight to the solution. And finally, for marketers who are facing that sea of AI sameness, the solution isn't some new tool. It's a whole new strategy. They are becoming curators themselves, curators of their own brand's unique voice and authority. And you can see the strategic shift so clearly here. It's just not about pumping out the most content anymore. The future is about building real brand authority through great storytelling and genuine expertise. It's about having a consistent voice that actually cuts through the noise, instead of just adding to it. Okay, so this all sounds great, but what's the real-world impact of making this shift from chaos to curation? Well, the results are massive. It's not just about getting organized. It's about a fundamental upgrade to your speed, your efficiency, and your accuracy. First up, let's talk accuracy. For those super complex multi-file code changes we talked about, an AI agent like Claude is hitting 99.9% accuracy. Just think about that for a second. That level of reliability completely changes a developer's confidence. Next, efficiency. We're seeing an 80% reduction in the time it takes to investigate and fix bugs. That frees up a huge amount of a developer's time and, maybe more importantly, their mental energy to focus on more creative work. And it all adds up to this, a twofold increase in the overall speed of development. I mean, when you're more accurate and you're more efficient, you deliver new features and fixes twice as fast. That is the power of replacing chaos with curated, intelligent action. So, you see the pattern here, right? Whether it's a simple YouTube organizer, a powerful coding agent, or a new marketing strategy, all of these examples point to the same huge shift. We're moving away from being passively managed by our feeds to becoming the active managers of our own information. And this quote from a company co-founder just says it all. The human role is changing. It's no longer about doing all the tedious, manual work, but about directing these powerful new agents to do it for us. We've become the conductors of an orchestra of curators. And really, that's what this is all about. Intentionality. It's about choosing what we consume, what we work on, and how we focus our attention, instead of just letting some algorithm choose for us. And so that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Whether it's your newsfeed, your learning habits, or your professional workflow, what's the one part of your digital world that's ready to be moved from chaos to control?